Welcome, everyone, to Music Junkies, a podcast about people sharing extraordinary stories about how music has impacted their lives.
Welcome, you guys, to Music Junkies. I'm excited to have you guys on the show. I'm going to introduce John, right, from Vermont. He is a radio personality, which is really cool, and you co-host a really comical podcast, and I've listened to it. I absolutely love it. The Anything Show with John Francois. And Andrew, like you said, you were born and raised in the military, so you're a military brat from Hawaii, freezing your ass off in New York now, which is okay, but you run a podcast as well called Lifestyles of the Gay Black Boy, right? Which is pretty crazy, right? Love the title, but it's really built around your own experiences and your humor, and I appreciate that so much. So welcome, you guys, to Music Junkies. We're gonna have a blast. This is my first time, my first time getting tag teamed, right? So I'm like a little nervous.
Don't worry, I'm a kneeling professional and tag teams are my thing.
Just be gentle. It's my first time with two guys. Just be gentle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, you know what? When people say tag team, unfortunately, it always has like a sexual dirty thing with me. So I just want to make sure like I'm being as nice as possible in response to you're being tag teamed by us.
Hey, you could be as dirty as you want on the show. If anybody knows me, they know that that's pretty much my nature. So before we get started, I wanted to ask you, Andrew, what was your experience putting your playlist together for me for today?
Putting my playlist together, it was all about what the music made me feel. When I listen to music, it's all about the feeling. And as soon as I heard those songs, I was like, yeah, this is a good list. I could start with some fun, have a little drunkiness, then maybe go out and crash a car. But it's still a good soundtrack.
Yeah, I love your soundtrack. And how about you, John? What was your experience putting your playlist together?
You know, when I chose my songs, I was going from a mixture of songs that remind me of certain periods of my life, to maybe songs that just made me cry or made me like want to like drive really fast on the highway. I mean, I think from choosing my 5 songs, it was really just about like, okay, like what place in my life do these songs remind me of? And to be honest with you, Annette, with the exception of one song that you played before we started the show, I forgot what my playlist was. So I'm going to be so excited along with the audience to listen to these and just be like, oh, wow, I chose that.
And I might be saying that too, because your playlist was totally different from Andrew's. Like, it was like night and day completely. So you might be surprised too. Maybe I didn't download the right songs, because I'm actually quite surprised of your playlist too. Probably 4 of those songs I've never even heard before. So hopefully I got the right playlist. I've only did it wrong once, so you never know. Okay. So we are going to start with you, John. Are you ready?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. I Can't Make You Love Me, John.
Yeah, I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? That song, okay, I'll say that song in particular always reminds me of a girl back in, I'm gonna say this was like shortly after I graduated college. We went to the same school, and I was still living in my home state of Connecticut, as was she, and she was already with someone, but she was like leading me on in a way where I thought that she was gonna leave the guy and be with me, and that was not the case. And for whatever reason, she just kind of like dramatically switched from like having feelings for me and being into me to like just wanting nothing to do with me anymore. So like, I don't know, during that period, that Bonnie Raitt song meant a lot to me, because it was just like, wow, like no matter how hard I try. And I was a creep back then. I was a creep. I did like, I did letters, I did cards. I went to her workplace knowing that she might be there. Yeah, this was a few years ago. So I've changed a lot since then. And I just got to a certain point where I was like, you know what? Nothing is really gonna come of this. And for me, at least, you know, the greatest way to move on is to find someone else. And luckily, I've gone through, you know, a period of dating experiences here and there before I got to my relationship with my current girlfriend, where I was able to get over that girl from my past. So yeah, there was a period where Bonnie Raitt, I was leaning heavy on that Bonnie Raitt song, and I was aware of the Bonnie Raitt song beforehand. I just think it's a great, beautiful song that will just make you cry, and I still listen to it to this day because it's just a great fucking song. But yeah, that particular period in my life is really what ties me into the Bonnie Raitt song.
Yeah, I'm super glad that you got over that stalking phase. Right? Like it was like, I love letters, but like when you're outside in the rain staring in my window, I kind of get a little freaked out, right? Like, and you're holding like, the letter and you're crying, and it's crazy. And Andrew, have you ever stalked anyone before?
I find stalking to be quite romantic. I think it's just doing extra homework on the person that you love. So if you just standing outside my window and watching me watch Dateline or something, you're like, hey, so I love Dateline, this is so great. I'll be like, you stood outside for me? I'm stalk-worthy?
It's kind of like the Netflix show You. Have you seen it?
Oh, I love You.
So I feel like it's kind of down that path a little, John, right? It's not expensive, but
you know what? I would say besides like actually killing people, I was not that different from Joe Goldberg and You. I was not that different. Yeah. And maybe that's why I loved it and was fascinated by it so much. Look, I didn't agree with what he did, but I was like, you know what? This is a fascinating show. Something about this show speaks to me.
This makes sense. Like, I'm okay. Like, if this guy's doing it and it's a TV show, it's normal, right? It's normal.
Yeah. By the way, can I just say something, Annette? Can I just say something really quick? One of the 100 million things about that I love about Andrew is that he'll put a silver lining on everything, including like red flags. Like he's such a promoter of red flags in people, and I'm just like, wow, that is wonderful. I never saw it that way.
Wave your flag. It's okay.
I love it. Andrew, this is your song. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. It's got a little long introduction. Burn in Hell.
Yes.
A little bit different than John's. Just a tad.
Yeah.
So this is Burn in Hell by a Norwegian metal group called Dimmu Borgir. It's a fantastic song. I personally love it because it makes me feel good inside to hear it, actually. It's all about burning in hell, about what sends you to hell, how you go to hell, and once you get there, what it's going to be about. And something about that was super comforting to me. Take it to a dark place. For my childhood, most people said I was going to go to hell because I'm gay. And I'm like, well, at least it sounds fun in the music. So let's go from there. And I actually found this song after I got kicked out of my house for being gay. And I was like, you know, at least there's some good voices and some good music out there that can keep me company. And I fell in love with it.
I love it. Do you know Twisted Sister does that song?
I think so, they do.
You should listen to it. That's probably where these guys got it from. The Twisted Sister version is really good. It's awesome. So your parents found out, how did your parents find out that you were gay?
Oh my gosh. So I don't get to have one of these fun coming out stories where it was like, oh, hey y'all, I'm gay. And they're like, we knew. Or it was like, hey y'all, I'm gay. Okay, get out. No. Unfortunately, my dad caught me on a chat line flirting with somebody. And this was old school chat line. This was like, call 555-5555 and meet a hot single today. So of course I'm like, oh, let me choose the gay choice. Let me choose the toxic guys. And in the middle of a message, me saying, hey, what's up? My name's Andrew, and this is what I'm into. My dad picks up the phone, and I'm like, oh, well, now y'all know.
And what did he do?
Right then and there was no reaction. None at all. And then after that, my parents got very angry and they said, hey, we're going to send you to this place. We're either going to send you to this place or you're going to a Christian re-education camp or whatever it was.
Oh.
It sounded very, very creepy. And I was like, well, I'm not doing those. So I guess the dolls got to figure it out on their own. And I was like, I'm out. That's it.
So do you have any communication with your parents at all? Or is it better now? Or
we're in communication now. It's better now. It's much better than what it used to be. But after some serious therapy and having a sit-down conversation to say, hey, I understand that what you were doing, you thought you were protecting me and preparing me for a life that would be good. But what you need to know is the things you did were very, very damaging. And we have to establish a boundary here because this love is no longer unconditional. At this point, there are conditions, and I'm okay with presenting you mine. You can present yours. And if we find common ground, we do. If we don't, I've shown myself that there's a life outside of family, and I can choose a chosen family.
Yeah, I love that. So, John, have you ever played with the other side before, or are you 100% straight?
Interesting question. Putting me on the spot there. Well, because of my rather outgoing, upbeat personality, especially here in Vermont, where there's an all-white rural feel, and a lot of the guys here are just like, you want to get a beer? You want to, go do NASCAR or something like that. Like, yeah, I mean, especially here, huh?
I said you live in Beartown. That's a gay paradise.
They all turn left too, so you don't have to worry about anything.
All those men you just described are bears, otters, and cubs, like I tried to tell you before.
Okay. Yeah, Andrew was telling me, like, what animal represents what kind of guy they are, but yeah. Anyway, so because of my personality, I've been mistaken as a gay man, and it is what it is. I mean, I understand that there are stereotypes, and I have mixed feelings about getting that put upon me, because there's a part of me that thinks, okay, well, stereotypes, and maybe if I was in your position, I'd probably think the same thing too. But on the other hand, there's just something just interesting and weird and funny and whatever about basing someone's sexuality, like, based on their personality, like just how they are as a person, what their interests are. It's just, I've always been kind of confused by that concept. So, I mean, yeah, like I've had moments where I've asked myself, like, oh, wait a minute, am I gay? Am I bisexual? I mean, because I'll be okay with saying, like, oh my God, like, Dwayne Johnson is the hottest man on the planet. He's currently me and Andrew's husband, by the way. We've established that.
That's kind of a tag team moment that you guys would do.
No, I would tag team the shit out of him, just to say it. But when you include Dwayne The Rock Johnson, our husband, in a conversation, it's not gay to like him. He's a god. That's religious.
He is. And you'll look at any survey and you'll find that Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he's like the most liked person that people want to become president. He's the guy that you want to spend the holidays with. There's just something about him that you just can't take your eyes off of, I'll just, whether it be, my outgoing personality, or me just not having a problem saying that, oh God, this guy's attractive, this guy's sexy, this guy has a great personality, blah, blah, blah. There's been insinuations, but you know what, as far as I've known, and I guess we could allude to, again, as far as I know.
Skirting around the answer here. Hey, Andrew, it's like a yes or no question. Like
I know. And that is so me. I always like to. So as far as I know, no, because I think it always comes down to, I guess it just comes down to a mixture of, like, would I want to be with a guy day by day in a relationship in that sense, and of course in the you also think in the sexual sense, do I prefer this, do I prefer that? And I came to the conclusion that no, I'm just a straight guy who just has a lot of gay energy. That's the longest answer ever, wasn't that? I just
it was like the longest yes I've ever heard.
I'm so sorry. Yes, I am 100% straight. Okay, let's move on.
All right. Next song is for John. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shaka Khan. Yeah.
Through the Fire.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I would have a lot of moments back in the day where I would hear this song and imagine myself playing a part in like a movie or TV show where I was just like some, fucking like crazy murderous bastard who wanted to get back at my girl for cheating on me with this guy at my own house. I don't know why. Like, I always imagine myself as that guy who's just like, I'm gonna like set this house on fire and I'm gonna get what's mine. And I don't know what. So it's a mixture of that and also just like Shaka Khan is just fucking fantastic.
I love it. So, John, you have many animals. Do you want to tell us how many animals you have?
Yeah, well, that's mostly due to my girlfriend and her best friend. So, currently in our house, we have 7 dogs and 5 cats. And you know what? When I tell people that, I understand why you think, wow, that is insane. But the only reason why like it's a sane house to live in every day is because this is what my girlfriend does for a living. She's a vet tech, and she fosters animals and trains dogs on the side. So like she told me the other day, she knows how to run a tight ship. And we have a fairly spacious farmhouse in the middle of nowhere in Vermont that we live in with all the pets and her best friend. And fortunately, there's a good amount of guest rooms. There's a utility room. I mean, there's space to accommodate, all these animals. And when I moved in with them, oh God, almost 2 months ago, it was just me and my dog Buddy. I mean, before I met my girlfriend, it was just me and my dog Buddy. And we just simply just joined this large furry family that my girlfriend and her best friend have had. And, I never thought I would be a guy that would be tolerant of multiple pets in a home, but it's actually not as bad as people would think.
I love it. So how long have you been with your girlfriend for?
Like a year and 4 or 5 months, something like that. A year and a few months.
What's the first thing that you noticed of her when you met her?
Her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had, at the time, I think she had like a green, bluish color in her hair. And I noticed piercings. I noticed that she had a few interesting tattoos. She was unlike anybody I've ever met before. So she looked like someone that you would be afraid of that might like beat the shit out of you in a parking lot. But like she has like the most fragile, kind, humorous personality that you would imagine. And pretty much everybody, even the most conservative people who would look at her and judge a book by its cover, you talk with her for a few minutes and you'll realize, oh my God, like she's a really nice person. My mom, who is like the most, just like, Andrew's parents, just, straightforward, Baptist Christian, just conservative in terms of like how men and women should present themselves. My girlfriend met my mom and everybody else, and my mom came away thinking like, wow, yeah, she's nice, and I'm glad you're happy. So
that's awesome. So from the first time you met her, like your first date, how long did it take you to get her in bed?
Oh God. Oh my Lord, we're getting personal here. Okay, so I'm gonna try to explain this as nutshellish as possible because, as you know, I have a habit of going on tangents when I should just say yes or no.
Or 3 or 4 days, whatever.
Yeah. So it was June 7th. It was June 7th of 2020. That was our first date, and it was July 16th, 2020, like midnight, 1 a.m, after we had sex for the first time. That's when I asked her to be my girlfriend. I did not want to have sex with her before okay, so basically my thought process was, before I ask her to be my girlfriend, let's see if we have sexual chemistry. Because I guess the worst thing would be if we like got into a relationship and then we found out we didn't have sexual chemistry and then it was just fucking awkward. So to your question, I think it took like about a month and a half to, you know, not get her in bed, as you say, but work up the confidence to nervously, clumsily have sex with her. I don't remember that night, but it was clumsy as fuck. And somehow she still saw something in me, and here we are.
Okay, so did you ask her to be your girlfriend before sex or after the sex?
Literally after the sex. And I did it in the most, I think I told Andrew this, nervous, humorous, clumsy way possible. I was just like, now that that's done, you want to go steady? and she laughed at that. She thought that it was hilarious, and here we are.
I love it. So John, what's your type of guy? What kind of male do you like? No,
what
Andrew,
kind of
sorry. What kind of man do you like?
Oh, that was good.
Okay, the kind of that I like is honestly like coffee. He's hot, black, tall, and can't love me back. That's what I'm here for. No, really. He's got to be somebody who just laughs. You've got to be able to laugh. If you cannot laugh, if you can't make me laugh, then we have an issue. If you're mad about something that occurred more than 12 hours ago, we can't be together, because I don't remember the last 12 hours because it's a new 12 hours. And then, honestly, it's got to be someone who understands that I love you. I will give you love, but at times I have no more love to give, and I just need my space. Yeah. If we find that boundary in that space, get in it.
All right, so you're single now?
Yes, I am single.
So are you more of a hunter or a gatherer? Do you go out and hunt for your meat, or do you like to have a whole bunch of things on the menu as you're gathering men?
So if we're saying gathering and hunting as far as men, I build a roster. You know, it's like a baseball team. You have your first string. Right now, I've got my first string team in, and it's like, hey, how are you? Let's go out for a date. Let's go have sex. We're good. And then, you know, it's like, okay, well, he wasn't that good. But if my A-lister calls, it's like, okay, hey, I've got plans. I'm really sorry. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. I'm a bit of a fuckboy. I can't lie. But I just feel it's important to have a team. And then sometimes you got to switch out the A team with the B team. And doesn't mean anyone is less than the other. It's just, I'm not feeling this set of men today. And then in other ways, it's just like, hey, let me pop on my phone, see if there's somebody like 30 feet from me. And if you are, and your pictures look good, you like my pictures, our parts match up, let's get together, take our clothes off, and make applesauce. We can do it.
I love it. I love it. So this next song is for you, Andrew. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Good. This one is a little bit of a long intro, so I might fast forward a little bit. Or is this John's? Is this you? Okay.
That's not mine.
No, sorry. I just wanted to make sure, just because I put them separately, but the way Andrew was looking, I thought, oh no, maybe I picked the wrong one, because John's playlist is all kind of like that. So why do you love that song, Andrew? Like, does it bring up a memory or an event for you?
It does. It brings up a specific moment for me. That song it's called a Passacaglia and Fugue in C minor, and it's written by Bach, but the composer for this is Leopold Stokowski. The song itself, it's an organ song. It's supposed to be played on an organ by one person. It's not other instruments involved. And it was the first song I learned playing the organ. Wow. And I learned from probably one of the only men in this world that I respect, to the moment where he was like, Andrew, that's stupid. Don't do it. I wouldn't do it. Like, he would be the person to say to me, no, because he taught me so much about playing the organ and piano, and then was just like such a light in my life. And when he put on the organ and I heard it the first time, I was like, it sounds like a bit of a mess. I don't understand what's happening here. Then he played me the version you just played, and he's like, you have to listen to the whole song. There's one tone that stays constant through the entire song, no matter who's playing. And it's just so fun to listen to. I just have passion about the damn song. It's so much fun to me. I hear that.
It's a beautiful song.
It is. I hear that and I want to go run. I get energized. It's like a battery pack is just in me now from hearing that.
I love it. So you guys do a show together.
Yep.
Right. So who interrupts more on the show?
I don't know. I'm going to say possibly me because I'm just an interrupter at times.
No. You know what? Actually, I would differ. Even though, you know, I've made the decision to have my name on the show. I tend to be quite an interrupter because I think it's just an anxiety thing. You know, I think it's you know, whether it be my girlfriend, friends, family, whoever. You know, maybe I just sense that the, you know, conversation is not picking up speed, that it's in a drag, and maybe like it's my anxious habit to like, okay, let me keep it going. Let me keep it going. Yeah. And, you know, other times I think it's just not like really specifically, you know, listening and reading off the other person well. So I'm gonna say that I'm probably more of the interrupter, and I'm trying to learn how to have more of a 50-50.
Would you agree, Andrew? Would you agree? He's more of an interrupter?
I'm not going to agree, but I am like 50-50 or like 49-51. And I don't know who's on what side, but I don't think you're an interrupter. I do think you get a little antsy when you're ready, but I don't think you're an interrupter.
Yeah. I love it. John, what's the best concert you've ever been to?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a passionate music person like that. It's funny because I've worked for music-based radio stations, and you would think that I'm the kind of guy that goes to concerts. I'm the kind of person that just like passively listens to a song on the radio or on Spotify, and I'm like, oh, hey, that's great. Maybe I'll listen to that again sometime. But I would never be the kind of guy that like, you know, collects albums and go to concerts. I mean, I will tell you a recent concert experience that I've been to, and maybe it's my only concert experience, really, Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh my God, wow.
Yeah, I've seen them twice, and it's my kind of concert because not only do they have, you know, fabulous upbeat rock music, but they also have the holiday display, you know, all the lights and the fireworks and everything. It's the perfect show for the whole family. And I've been there twice during the holidays, and I would go again. I mean, there's another concert in Minnesota I'm thinking about when I used to live in the Midwest, but that's not as memorable as Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That for me takes the cake.
I love it. How about yourself, Andrew? Is there a concert that sticks out to you that you've been to that you're like, this is amazing?
I have never been to a concert.
Oh my God, really? Wow.
My first concert experience is going to be next year, March 5th. I'm going to Dua Lipa. So that'll be the very first time I've ever been to one, but I've never been to a concert.
That's crazy. You're going to die. It's going to be amazing. You're just going to be like, yeah.
So jealous.
Crazy.
So
hey,
jealous.
Your next song, you ready?
I know. Look at me with the sappy love songs.
The closer I get to, I feel like these all are a little bit stalking songs.
Oh, what? You know what? You have a point. You have a point. You actually have a point. What the hell is wrong with me?
All right, let's hear the stalking story.
No. This is not a stalking story. This is just purely like, this is just one of those love songs that just gets to me. I mean, like, I mean, I had a period where, you know, it was very trial and error in terms of dating, and I was very cynical about relationships. But deep down inside, I've always been in love with the idea of being in love, and you know, just finding that perfect companion. And I also just loved. I mean, there's just something about just that sort of style of Black R&B and soul from back in the day, from like the 60s and 70s, like you heard from like Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack. That, I mean, it's unmatched. I mean, you know, you just sense that it's real. You know what I mean? It's passion. So
are you a hopeless romantic?
I mean, does it count to be a hopeless romantic when I've already found my person? Or
yeah, are you romantic with her? Like, what's the most romanticest thing you've ever done?
With my girlfriend?
Or with any girl?
Well, my ex-girlfriend back in Iowa, at the time when she was my girlfriend, I had a barbershop quartet sing to her on Valentine's Day at the bank that she worked at. And her family, and when I stayed with her and her family at like this sort of Valentine's Day cabin getaway thing, they loved that. They were very taken by that. So that's the most romantic thing that comes to mind.
That's pretty romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, are you romantic?
No.
Or do you you like somebody to be romantic to you?
I do like romance. I love romance. Like, if you are gonna romance me, know that you're not getting sex after this, because that's all I want at that point. I'm good with everything else. I want to stay dry. But it's just, I love like dates and those kinds of things. And I don't know, maybe I'm not the best at planning them, but to me, romance is make me a bowl of ramen noodles and we sit down and eat our noodles together.
Yeah. Do you like surprises?
Oh God, no. I hate surprises.
You do?
Really?
I actually
somebody
do.
is like, I'm gonna take you somewhere, like blind, put on a mask, you don't know where we're going, that you don't like anything like that.
Now that I could do, because I know something. But like a surprise, like I'm not even joking. The one time someone tried to throw me a surprise birthday party, I was so caught off guard. I just turned around and I was like, thank y'all. That was great. And I just left. I couldn't. My anxiety was through the roof. I was like, nope, not doing it.
Wow.
It's crazy. My husband's the same way. On his 40th, I surprised him to a trip to Nashville. And then we got to the airport and just random friends were showing up. And he was like, he wasn't like really enjoying that. He was like, what the hell? Why are these people here? Why is this person here? Why is this person here? Just kept on getting worse and worse and worse. And then when we got to Nashville, I had friends that already flew in and were in the house. So when he opened up the door, they were all dressed up as like Hulk Hogan and stuff. And he's like, who the fuck was that? I'm like, they flew in from Texas to see you for your and like it took them probably like an hour to like finally go around to everybody and be like, hey, I am super grateful that you're here. But I thought after 22 years he'd be that one. I didn't realize he didn't like surprises. That didn't go very well. I was like, I'll never do that again. No surprises for you.
That's me. They surprised me and I was like, I can't do this. And I left. And then I sent everybody a message. I was like, thank you so much. But I was expecting to have this energy for my birthday, not what I was presented with. I just can't handle it.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Andrew, we're going to do your next song. I haven't heard that song by Calvin Harris, Thinking About You. I really like it. It's fun.
I think it's his best song, the best song he's ever written. That song just brings such good emotions to me. Every time I listen to it, I think of being in the Gulf of Mexico. Because when I first heard it, I was on a cruise ship in Mexico and we were just out at sea and it was like amazing. It was the best experience I had because it was my very first cruise and I fell in love with the song.
I love it. I love it. So you guys haven't seen a lot of concerts, but I'm assuming you know some, lead singers of bands. Mm-hmm. John, if you could be a lead singer of a band for one day, what lead singer would you pick?
Now this has to be like an actual well-known band.
Well, it doesn't. Could be whoever you want. You can't just make up your own band. But yes, it has to be a real person.
Okay. Oh, if I had to be the lead singer of a band. Oh, yeah. Goodness gracious. I'm going to say, God, I have like 3 options in mind.
Okay, let's hear them.
Just because of their stature. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and the Eagles. Okay. I'm going to say because of the mark that they made in pop music and really Beatlemania, probably the lead singer of the Beatles, if there even was a lead singer of the Beatles, because I don't know, I feel like it was a combination of like Paul McCartney and John Lennon. But if it was a possibility to have a distinct lead singer, that would be the band that I choose, because really I'm so fascinated by that band in terms of like, you know, how they started, the peak of Beatlemania, and how they just eventually like transformed from that sort of like teen pop image to, you know, what we got later on with Strawberry something. Remind me what that was. Strawberry Fields.
Strawberry Fields. Yep.
Yeah, Yellow Submarine, like that era. Yep. Yeah, you know, I think there's enough fascination I have with the Beatles to want to be the lead singer of that band.
I love it. How about yourself, Andrew?
I do actually have 2 choices that it would be. One, I think I would want to be the lead singer of the Jackson 5.
Oh no!
I would be in heaven because I loved their music, and I think I would love to see people swarming a limousine as I'm sitting by. I just think that would be amazing. And then the other, I think I would want to be the lead singer of Black Sabbath.
Nice. And Ozzy Osbourne. I love it.
Yes. Like their music. It just so amazing. So I think that would be my 2 choices.
I like it. So John, what were you like in high school?
Oh God. Well, first of all, to Andrew's point about the Jackson 5, now Andrew, do you mind if I ask a couple of questions about that?
Sure.
Okay. So Andrew, which one would you be of the Jackson 5? 1, and 2, would you tolerate the spankings of Joe Jackson?
Okay, so this is gonna get really weird, like really weird. I would want to be Michael Jackson before his scalp got burned in the Pepsi commercial. I want that because his hair looked great before that, and then after that, well, we saw the pictures.
That's right.
Then Joe Jackson beating me. Now, is this younger Joe Jackson? If this is like Joe Jackson when he was a daddy, not a granddaddy.
Yeah, when he's a daddy. Let's go in.
Yeah, when he was pretty much the manager of the Jackson 5, and he was like beating his kids to be talented.
Would kind of be in for it, like, you know, yes, daddy more in a fun way, but yeah, I'm not getting off a tree though.
I knew you would say that. So to your question, Annette, what was I like in high school? I think like most high schoolers, I was a very awkward man or teenager trying to find myself. I remember going into high school and trying out for the basketball team because I had done local basketball in town during my middle school years because my parents wanted me to get out of the house, like stop watching TV, stop doing like all these pretend imaginary shows in my bedroom and do something. And then I found the theater department. In my high school, and I fell in love with a whole bunch of a different crowd of people who are just quirky and funny and strange and weird. I found my people, and you know, from then on, I mean, I went to college for a little while for acting, but that confidence that I got from that period of my life, you know, being able to just be on stage like that, I think I wouldn't be in broadcasting today if it wasn't for that. You know, I had to pretend how to be other people to eventually be comfortable being me, and that's what you find today.
I love it. Did you ever do anything bad in high school? that you never got caught?
Did I ever get caught doing anything in high school? God. Does it count if it's like something not that wasn't really in high school? It was at someone's house, and
sure, yeah, let's hear it.
I mean, in school, I mean, the worst thing I would do is just be late to classes all the time. But I remember, senior year of high school, I sort of had like a flirty friendship with this girl, and she invited me over to her house after school, and we did things, and those things led to, I'd say, a decent amount of hickeys around me. And I came home pretty late that night, and my mom, of course, she noticed what the hell was going on, and of course I had to lie. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I fell on this sidewalk. I got bruised." But no, it was I was playing around with a girl, and not only was it like my first experience, like in a sexual sense, but also I think it was the first time that I made out with somebody. Yeah. So, yeah, it was very memorable, and I wasn't accepted fondly by my mom after that moment.
Are hickeys still around now? Do people still give hickeys?
It's considered very sketchy and sort of backdoor hoary to give a hickey. Hickeys have negative stigmas. I used to give it to girls fairly recently. I did it to my girlfriend very early on, and then she told me, cut it out because, she has to work and she can't be going to clients and having like hickeys all around her. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Andrew? I mean, are you into hickeys?
I'm not really into them because you have to suck the shit out of my skin to form one. Like, it doesn't feel good. It hurts. I've never really been into them. I've only had one my entire life. And as soon as I saw it was there, I was like, yeah, we're breaking up. This isn't cool. But no, I'm not into them.
So here's a question, Andrew. So did the guy that gave you the hickey on your neck, did he suck as good on his neck than he did down below? Because that would be a good indication, right?
No. Oh no. No, it's so the hickey, you're sucking on the neck. You're really not taking on a full piece of equipment. And personally, just to be an open book, I don't like oral sex. I actually don't prefer that any man touches my penis. Like, leave it alone. Like, we're not that it's not the main course on this is not the good china. Just go around. But I couldn't think of how else to explain it. But no, I do not like oral sex, and I have not had any man that's given me oral sex that I would say is even moderately good.
Wow.
Interesting.
You would think that they would be, because like we say we know what girls want, you would think the same stigma, I guess, on the other side.
Yeah. You would, but then there's the guys who are out there like, no, I just like to sleep with men. I am not gay, which means they are not going to give you good oral sex or probably good sex in general. But it's just one of those things. I've never met a guy who has done it well.
Wow. Jeez. John, you ready for your next song? This one, again, we have a little pattern here.
Oh, yeah. It's
too late.
Carole King.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, that just brings me back to my childhood. My parents, whenever they would like take me to school or pick me up from my grandmother's place after school, because my grandmother would used to babysit me, they would often have this adult contemporary radio station on, which is still hot to this day. And, for people that are not radio nerds that are watching or listening to this, adult contemporary is just another way of saying, hey, the hits from back in the day and also the hits of today, and they're like mixed together, and it's such a family-friendly, safe format. Like, there's nothing risque about it. It's just a feel-good, comfortable kind of music format. And I just remember listening to Carole King as one of the many artists on that adult contemporary station. And then not too long ago, with a friend of mine in Connecticut, when I went home for the weekend, we saw Beautiful, the Carole King musical. And I mean, I almost teared up, like listening to all that music that she made, and just like how it just makes you think of certain memories, you know? And, you know, there's such a beautiful sort of simplicity to her music that I could listen to it for hours, you know?
I love it. I love it. Do you, when you think of that song, have you ever like romanced a girl to any of these songs that you've picked? Or have you ever like slow dance naked to any of these songs to get a girl in the mood?
Slow dance naked slow dancing. That's a concept I've never heard before. I may have to try that. Yeah. Hey, look, I mean, so I'm going on a birthday getaway weekend of sorts with my girlfriend this weekend. So maybe we'll have to try that.
Dancing. That's what's on the menu.
Yeah. No. I mean, Carole King, I've listened to that song with my girlfriend in the car. I've listened to The Closer I Get to You. So, I mean, I've listened to the songs with my significant other. But as far as, God, this is a random memory. The closest I can think of, back in the day, before I like got comfortable with dating and relationships, I used to solicit prostitutes. I had a lot of prostitute experiences. And for whatever reason, I remember a prostitute going down on me to a song by Adele, and I don't even know what I don't even know what's
deep. Like what song is it?
I know, and you know what? Andrew loves this because Andrew is in love with Adele, but it's like, God, it's let me photograph you in this light. like I don't even know, but you know what song I'm talking about, Andrew, right? I do. and it has nothing to do with the blowjob, but for some reason, every time I listen to that song, I think back, oh my God, that hooker blowjob, that was such a great moment.
So how many prostitutes did you solicit? Like, are we talking like 50 or just like?
Oh, I don't have a number on it. Look, I was so nervous and insecure about myself back in the day, but also so horny. I lost my virginity to a prostitute when I was 18.
No way. So tell me about your first time.
The very first time? Oh God. Well, you know, as you can expect, it's sloppy. So it was when I was going to school for acting in Philadelphia. I was 18 and I was just horny one night, and I looked through websites, found a 25-year-old law school student who was doing this on the side, and she charged like $350 for the hour, which when you're in college, it's like the equivalent of asking for $1 million, but somehow I had the money and wanted to spend it. And I just remember wanting to take in the experience very slowly. I remember awkwardly taking her into the dorm room because I had roommates, and the roommates had friends, and they were probably like, wait, what's this very nerdy, awkward looking guy doing with this very like beautiful woman that looks mature? And you know, look, I mean, I had an early finish the first time around, as they say, and you know, we did it again a second time, and it was a little bit better, so I got the hang of it. I remember when I was so nervous while we were like getting into the sex part, and I always remember this line. She's like, don't get soft on me. And I was like, oh God, okay, of course I won't. So, you know, that was wonderful. So yeah, I mean, I would say from like 2010 up until like roughly 2017, I've had a mixture of prostitute experiences here and there. And
so who would have the most notches on their belt? Because Andrew's been around too. We know Andrew's been around too, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I had professionals too. So It's not a bad thing. Somebody, I can't lie. Sex workers are probably the most fun people I've ever had in my entire life. Even outside of sex, it's just like, oh my God, you are just fun as shit to hang out with.
Yeah.
So, but I know that it's no longer a belt. It's notches in the road. Like if you were, when you drive off the side of the road, you can hit those bumps. Whatever that is for 30 minutes, that's my notches on my belt. So.
All right.
We're waking up truck drivers on the side of the road.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, I love it. All right, Andrew, your song. You ready?
Yes.
Another Calvin Harris. Great song. School. I love it.
Yes. School. It reminds me of, and the funny thing about this, Calvin Harris, for anybody who doesn't know, is not Black. But that song immediately reminded me of being at a Black cookout. Like rolling up in the car, my cousin smoking a blunt, my uncles are at the table drinking, playing dominoes. Somebody's behind the grill who probably shouldn't be back there because they probably can't cook. You gotta look at their shoes. If they don't have on the right shoes, you can't be behind the grill. And that song just reminds me of all those moments at a barbecue. And I just fell in love when I heard it.
So you have to go back to the shoes in the barbecue for I can understand. What does that mean?
So there are a specific pair, and I call them like dad flip-flops. They look specific because I've only seen dads wearing them. It's kind of like that interlaced leather on top of the like sandal, and you don't wear them with socks, but if the person behind the grill does not have socks on, you don't eat that food. You learn that you touch that food, that's nasty. So they have to have those sandals on with some socks. And then I'm like, okay, you don't care how you look right now. Your food's going to taste amazing. Let's go.
Wow.
Oh, John, do you have any pet peeves? Things that drive you absolutely up the wall?
Oh, God.
Just two. I just want two.
Just want two? Oh, man. I just have to think for a moment. Being shushed.
Oh.
I fucking hate that. And my girlfriend does that to me reasonably for good reason. So like her best friend, like she has a room like right near the kitchen, like downstairs. And I don't try to be a loud guy, but apparently when I go down the stairs, even when I try to give my most quiet indoor voice, it's still too loud. I'm a projector, and I guess I make my presence known. And anytime that her best friend is sleeping, if it's me and my girlfriend early in the morning, first word that comes out of my mouth, and she's just like, shh, 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 and it annoys the crap out of me because I don't know. It's almost like saying, okay, don't be who you are. So being shushed is my first pet peeve.
Okay.
My second pet peeve. Oh, goodness gracious. I'd say, I mean, this is a radio thing. I guess only if you're in radio, you would get this, but you know what, if you're a podcaster and you have guests on, I guess you can relate to this as well. When you are conversing with listeners or guests that are just not giving you anything in return, like they're just giving you like a series of one-word answers. I had one of those on the radio earlier today for a trivia winner, and I almost want to just be sarcastic and snappy with them on the air, because it's like, wow, you won free shit. Could you sound any more monotone and boring right now? So those people, if I could have a lot less people, then great. And you know what? And actually, this is a compliment to Andrew, because look, I've had some co-hosts in the past where I've been like given a lot of like crazy, quirky shit off of them, and they're just like, oh, okay. Like they either give me like they either give me a negative response to what I'm giving them, or they give like a very one-word passive response to what I give them. And what I like about Andrew is that he is the perfect improv partner. He yes ands like nobody's business. Like I'll give him something like fucking insane, and he'll accept that insanity and give me even more insanity, which makes it better. So, you know, if I could have many more Andrews on the radio every day, that would be great.
That's awesome. I love that. And it's so true. You have to feed off of each other. I know like when I do them with people and I'm like, my husband, because he gets so excited and he's like, how is that? I'm like, meh, they're okay. Maybe somebody will like their playlist. I don't want to be like that, but if I'm not vibing with them and I don't get to be myself, like if I feel like I'm in that podcast and I feel like I have to be somebody different where I can't ask my outrageous questions because I feel like they're just too wound up. Like if I ask them, their sexual position, they fucking lose their mind, right? Like I would set them to they'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe you asked me this question. So I'm like, whatever, move on.
Right. Yeah.
All right, Andrew, I want to hear yours because I feel like you got a couple.
I do have a few pet peeves. Number one on the list is ringtones annoy the shit out of me. Like, to no end. I don't even know what the ringer of my cell phone sounds like because I never turn on the ringer. It's on vibrate 24/7. I hate them. Oh God, I hate cell phones in general, but I hate ringtones.
What's your worst ringtone that you've heard that you were just like, what the hell is
that? It was Nokia. They had that cell phone. It was like oh, my mom would never turn off her cell phone ringer. And I had to hear that all the time until I was like, I'm putting your phone in the garbage disposal if you don't start turning that off. It was so bad. Then another pet peeve of mine, people who don't tip. If you go to a restaurant, bartenders, whatever, I used to be a bartender. If you don't tip, that is a huge pet peeve of mine. Yeah. And I understand everybody, and it's your money and how you want to spend it. But don't come here if you don't have the money to properly pay the people who are working. It sucks. You probably get like $5 an hour when you're a server sometimes, if that, and you're depending on those tips. So it sucks when I see people who don't tip. That is a huge pet peeve. And the biggest pet peeve of all time for me are kitten high heels. I don't know who designed those. I don't know where they're from. I don't know why they exist. If anybody has them, good for you. I am not going to judge you for putting those on, but I will not stand next to you and I will not tolerate any kind of things from you through the night. Because the first thing I say is get out. Those heels are the devil. Take them.
Take them. Take them away. Yeah. We're already on your guys' last two songs. Are you ready, John? Your last song.
Yep. Oh yeah, James Taylor.
Good way to end it. I see fire and I see rain. Right? Such a good song.
Yeah, brings me back to one of my favorite movies. One of the few movies I can watch a million fucking times. Remember the Titans, starring one of the greatest actors ever to live. Maybe the greatest actor, actually, Denzel Washington. I mean, I can watch Denzel Washington in anything. I can watch Denzel just eat Chinese on the toilet, and I'd be like very, 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 very taken. Now, Andrew, what was that look that you're giving me?
Eating Chinese on the toilet, I imagine chopsticks and maybe a box. And, I can see that. I can see Denzel Washington on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, most people say like, oh, I can like listen to this actor read the phone book and I'd be okay. But for me, if Denzel is on the toilet eating Chinese, like that's how much I love him. I would just watch him doing that. So the James Taylor song comes from the Remember the Titans soundtrack. And there's this scene, a touching scene in the movie where I guess like the Titans, which is the team that Denzel's character coaches, like they're coming off of a big win, and Denzel is coming home to his family, and his daughter is coming out, and I guess wondering what's going on, if she's going to spend some time with daddy tonight, or if daddy's going to go and celebrate with his boys the win. And daddy's like, no, you and I are going to celebrate tonight. And then he just goes to the middle of the street with his daughter over his shoulders and spins around, and he's like, yeah! And that James Taylor song plays while he's doing that. And it's just a great memory for me because I don't know. It's just a great memory, and it's a great fucking movie. And Denzel, I think Denzel next to Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I think I have double husbands right here. So,
so what, you know, speaking of Chinese food and eating, what is the worst thing you've ever ate? And you can include pussy if you want. Up to you.
Wait, is this for me or Andrew?
It's for you, John. John, you're the one talking about Chinese food eating on a toilet. Now we're curious on what is the worst thing you've put in your mouth.
The worst thing I put in my mouth? Wow.
Yeah. You never
Jesus
eaten
Christ.
anything unusual?
Well, when I was younger, and I told Andrew this story, when I was younger and there was company over the house, my parents had like some company over, I guess because I was curious and also wanted to attract attention. I licked a roll-on deodorant. I just licked it in front of the company. And, you know, because it's deodorant, I didn't find that to be enticing. I mean, going off of pussy, I mean, if we're talking about pussy, yeah, like, you know, there's been hairy pussy that I didn't take too kindly to because it's hairy. But, you know, it is what it is. Some people are hairy, some people are shaved.
It's good. All right. We're on Andrew's last song. Are you ready? Do you remember what it was?
I'm trying to think. I don't remember.
It has a long intro. It's really good. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. It's Tokyo. It's very aggressive. I love it. It's from Resident Evil too, right? Which is really, really cool.
It is. It's from Resident Evil. And I love that song because the moment it's played in the movie, there's this girl who is standing there in the most beautiful outfit I have seen in a movie. And I remember it like in my head, I can visualize this girl who's standing there, green pair of high heels, these crazy looking stockings, and this purplish dress. She looks like a hippie version of an anime character. And then she bites some guy's neck clean open. Very romantic moment. I fell in love when I saw that scene, heard the music, and it's very intense. If you listen to that song with a pair of headphones, your heart starts to race because it's so intense and just deep and visceral, and I love it.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to give you guys some time, though, to talk about yourself, your podcast, where we can find you, anything and everything, just about who you are. Who wants to go first?
Well, first of all, I'll say that the song that I got a blowjob to, I just remembered, it's When We Were Young by Adele. So look up that song, When We Were Young by Adele. And get
your first blowjob, right? Get your first blowjob from Adele.
There you go. And it's perfect because Adele is come back right now, so it's relevant.
Yeah, makes sense. You should go to an Adele show and get a blowjob there.
Wow.
We could actually just make that something that we just start. We should just start this kind of new trend.
I guess. And you know what? Given that Adele like sings a lot of songs about breakups and divorce and whatnot, I mean, that's to be turned on by that enough that you want a blowjob to that. That's just that's otherworldly, you know?
Right. It is. So John, tell us where we can find you. Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Sure. So the Anything Show, it's basically a crazy hour, sometimes hour plus of pop culture insanity. So me and Andrew, every week we like to give our quirky takes on trending headlines. We like to discuss celebrity gossip. We like to listen back to the viral videos of the week. And we like to interview fascinating people such as yourself, Annette. So let's see. I think the last episode, Andrew, we interviewed the co-founder of the Carpe antiperspirant brand, Casper Pizza. And we found out via that interview that Andrew has a pinky sweat problem. Like he has a problem where he sweats a lot from his pinky. So this is where the Carpe people come in and they're like, all right, you know, Andrew, you know, put a little rub from the hand lotion and then the pinky sweat problem clears right up. So you get to listen to that conversation. Sometimes I interview big names. Like recently, I interviewed comedian Chelsea Handler. So that's on the recent episode. And the crazy things that me and Andrew talk about. I don't know. Andrew, is there like a really crazy out there thing that we talked about on the show that you can think of?
The funny thing is I can't think of one specific because there have been so many, but I do remember that we talked about something that I think disturbed me to my core, and I had to go drink one night because I was like, wow, I would really do that. And I want to say it was something involving eating something that should not have been eaten.
Okay.
I think I'm just trying to remember, but my memory.
Oh, you know what I remember? I remember Andrew saying, because we're talking about our Dwayne The Rock Johnson affair, and I believe we were talking about like how Dwayne pees in water bottles after he works out, and Andrew says that he loves Dwayne so much that he would probably consider drinking Dwayne's pee.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that accurate?
That is 100% accurate. I was like, wow. I think I went to my best friend's house. I was like, I just agreed to drink somebody's pee on the air. I just
need a vodka. How about yourself, Andrew? Where can we find you? You want to tell us a little bit about what your podcast is about and where we can find you?
You can find me on all of the socials, just as Lifestyle of a Gay Black Boy, or look for AJ Vandertunt. I'm the only Vandertunt that I have seen on social media, so it's mine. It is my name now. No one tries to steal it. And you can even find me on this weird social media app called Zero that's like based in Germany or something. And for some reason, I have a page there, which now I have access to. So you can find me there. But my podcast, Lifestyle of a Gay Black Boy, first, it is not safe for work. So do not play it out loud at your workstations because you'll probably get fired. It is full of horrible things and good things like sex, drugs, alcohol, work advice, financial tips, and emotional health and wellness. So it gets you a good little balance. And outside of all of that, it's just a moment where you can get into my head and see just how scary the world is. You'll leave with a panic attack, but you'll come back for more.
Oh my God, love it.
I love it.
And I should mention that I think Andrew is going to have me on his show sometime. I think we're going to do something, so that'll be exciting. Awesome. But no, you can find Lifestyle of a Gay Black Boy wherever you get podcasts. You can find the Anything Show with John Francois wherever you get podcasts. I think our socials are Instagram and TikTok at Anything Show Francois. At Anything Show, FRANCOIS. And as far as Facebook, facebook.com/The Anything Show. So we hope you can join myself and Andrew with this insanity that we do every week. And also, I've listened to Andrew's podcast. It's just fabulous. He does a great job with it.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time. It was my first time again having two guys. So I was not knowing what to expect, but you guys were gentle, and I appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you. I should mention that every month, on the Anything Show, we give away $100 gift cards and Anything Show with John Francois shot glass and keychains. We usually ask a really quirky question. So the question for the month of November was what's on your favorite sandwich? And me and Andrew are actually going to record something after we get off of here and announce our winner for the month of November. So in case people want to win money and merch, we tend to do that every month on the show as well.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you guys again so much for being on the show. I so appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been fun.